Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories and our consolation game of our 2014-15 Categories Tournament. We put the Shawnee Mission West Vikings, coached by Pam Creed, versus the Blue Valley West Jaguars, coached by Pam Fellingham. All right, let's go ahead and meet our contestants. First from West.
I'm Austin, and I'm a junior.
I'm Blake, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Megan, and I'm a junior.
I'm Nick, and I'm a freshman.
And from Blue Valley West.
My name's Chandler, I'm a senior.
I'm Emre, and I'm a junior.
I'm Kyler, I'm a senior.
I'm Curtis, and I'm a senior.
And I'm Albie, and I'm a senior.
All right, here on Categories, in the playoffs and in the regular season, we begin our first round with each team taking turns answering questions. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by the Jaguars of Blue Valley West, and so you will get the first question, and the category is general knowledge. What do you call the French pastry that is an oblong cream puff covered with rich chocolate glaze? Emre.
An eclair?
It's an eclair. Over to Shawnee Mission West. Vikings, your first category is science, specifically biology. Name the protozoan that has all of these parts: a contractile vacuole, a nucleus, a cell membrane, pseudopods, and an ectoplasm. Nick.
An amoeba.
It is an amoeba. I don't know any other protozoas, so. Jaguars, back over to you. Current events is the category. Name more than 30 members of Congress plan to boycott this speech of the Prime Minister of what country to the joint session of Congress last Tuesday? Curtis.
Israel.
Vikings, back to you. U.S. history. On December 1st, 1955, she refused to give up her seat to a white man on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, and the action became the boycott, which was part of the first nationally significant action of any modern civil rights movement. Name her. Blake.
Rosa Parks.
It is Rosa Parks. Back to you, Jaguars. Vocabulary. Derived from a French phrase meaning cheating at the game, this 9-letter word means trickery, especially in the field of law. What is it? Time on that. Vikings chance to steal. Derived from a French phrase meaning cheating at the game, this 9-letter word means trickery, especially in the field of law. What is it? Austin.
Deception.
It is not deception. It's chicanery. Vikings, you do get the next question, however. It is geography. Name any line of latitude that passes through the nation of Mexico. Austin.
The equator.
Cannot accept equator. Jaguars, chance to steal this geography question. Name any line of latitude that passes through the nation of Mexico. Emre.
The Tropic of Cancer.
Tropic of Cancer, very good. We actually would have accepted anything from 15 degrees north to 32 degrees north. It's good to know. Jaguars, we are coming back to you, this time with a geometry question. All 3 exterior angles of a triangle are always, sometimes, or never acute. Abby?
Always.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this geometry question. All 3 exterior angles of a triangle are always, sometimes, or never acute. Megan.
Never.
Never is correct. Coming back to you, Vikings. Sports, specifically golf, is the category. Since 1949, the winner of the Masters Golf Tournament, besides receiving a cash prize, is awarded what? Austin.
A green jacket.
A green jacket. Coming back to you, Jaguars, with entertainment, specifically TV. What is the network's rating period commonly called? Curtis?
Nielsen.
I cannot accept Nielsen. Vikings, chance to steal this entertainment TV category. What is the network's rating period commonly called? Time on that. We're looking for sweeps. Sweeps. Vikings, you do get the next question. It is an economics vocabulary question. The word run has many meanings. What does it mean in the context when referring to a bank? Austin?
Receive more interest.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. Jaguars, chance to steal this economic vocabulary question. The word run has many meanings. What does it mean in the context when referring to a bank? Curtis?
When many people withdraw money at one time.
That's exactly what we're looking for. Back to you, Jaguars. You have a literature question this time. In Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist, who is the only female member of Fagin's gang of thieves? Time on that. Vikings, coming back to you with literature. In Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist, who is the only female member of Fagin's gang of thieves? Nancy. Just Nancy. All right, Vikings, we are coming back to you. General knowledge this time. This trademarked product of DuPont has a density of only 1.4 times that of water, but 5 times the strength to weight ratio of steel. Name this material commonly used to strengthen radial tires and bulletproof clothing. Nick?
Kevlar.
It is Kevlar. Back to you, Jaguars, with science. Any organism that cannot use the sun's energy to make its own food is considered a what? Chandler?
Consumer.
Consumer. Back to you, Vikings. You have current events this time. Name the British graffiti artist who recently created artwork on the walls of destroyed buildings in Gaza to draw attention to the plight of the people there. Jaguars, you have a chance to steal this current events question. Name the British graffiti artist who recently created artwork on the walls of destroyed buildings. Chandler?
Banksy.
Yep. Jaguars, coming back to you. World history. Who won the Peloponnesian War? Emery?
Sparta.
Sparta did. Vikings, coming back to you. Language, this time definitions. Identify this word beginning with the prefix pre. It means it's a manufacturing term, which means made beforehand. Nick?
Prefabricated.
Prefabricated, very good. Jaguars, back to you. U.S. geography, specifically capitals. Name the 2 state capitals closest to Amarillo, Texas. Emery?
Austin and Oklahoma City.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this U.S. geography question, specifically to capitals. Name the 2 state capitals closest to Amarillo, Texas. Blake?
Austin and Baton Rouge.
Sorry, that too is incorrect. Oklahoma City is one of them. The other one is Santa Fe. Santa Fe. We are coming back to you, West, with the next question. You also have a math question, this time geometry as well. If the segment connecting the centers of the bases of a prism is perpendicular to both bases, then the prism is what type? Blake?
Equilateral.
Cannot accept equilateral. Jaguars, chance to steal this math geometry question. If the segment connecting the centers of the bases of a prism is perpendicular to both bases, then the prism is what type? Chandler?
Rectangular.
Cannot accept rectangular. We're looking for regular. Regular. Jaguars, we are coming back to you with games is the category. What's the highest ranking suit in bridge? Avi?
Spades.
It is spades. Vikings, back to you. Fine arts is the category. What kind of piece is performed at the very end of a concert after much applause? Blake.
Encore.
Encore. Jaguars, coming back to you with government. Fairly long question, so please pay attention. Its original function was to regulate railroad rates and prevent rebates and rate discrimination. Later legislation extended their jurisdiction to pipelines and interstate buses and trucks. Name this quasi-judicial regulatory agency. Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this government question. Its original function was to regulate railroad rates and prevent rebates and rate discrimination. Later legislation extended their jurisdiction to pipelines and interstate buses and trucks. Name this quasi-judicial regulatory agency. Blake.
Department of Transportation.
It's not Department of Transportation, it's Interstate Commerce. Interstate Commerce. Vikings, coming back to you with literature. What, according to Robert Frost, makes good neighbors? Time on that. Jaguars, chance to steal this literature question. What, according to Robert Frost, makes good neighbors? Bobby?
A wall.
A wall or fences? Good job. Jaguars, back to you again. Science is the category this time. What chemical element makes up 40% of the dry weight of plants? Bobby?
CO2.
I cannot accept that. Sorry. Vikings, chance to steal this science question. What chemical element makes up 40% of the dry weight of plants? Austin?
Carbon.
It is carbon. Vikings, you do get the next question. It is geography resources. What Canadian province has 85% of Canada's oil and gas reserves? Austin?
Ontario.
It is not Ontario. Jaguars, chance to steal this geography resources question. What Canadian province has 85% of Canada's oil and gas reserves? Emery?
Yukon.
It's not Yukon. It's Alberta. Alberta. Jaguars, you do get the next question. It is another geography question on North America. What forms more than half the border between Mexico and the United States? Emery?
The Rio Grande River.
Rio Grande, very good. Coming back to you, Vikings, with presidential history. Name 2 national offices Thomas Jefferson held before being elected president. Blake?
Vice President and Secretary of State.
Those are 2. Very good. Jaguars, back to you. Sports is the category. At the time, he set the record for the most home runs, which is 47, by a shortstop, but he finished his career at first base. He's affectionately known as Mr. Cub. Name him. Abby?
Mini mimosa.
That is incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this sports question at the buzzer here. At the time, he set the record for the most home runs. Blake?
Ernie Banks.
It is Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks. All right, with that correct question, Shawnee Mission West tied up the score at 10 apiece. As you can see in the graphic, in the tournament bracket on your screen, in the semifinal rounds, first place Blue Valley competed against fourth place Shawnee Mission West, and second place Blue Valley West from a regular season played third place Blue Valley Northwest to determine today's consolation match. We had incredibly competitive semifinal games, and the conclusion of these games are guaranteed to be just as exciting. All right, as we head into our second round, which is the lightning round, we traditionally start with our look and listen question, in which we have a monitor here in the studio to display to our students who are competing. The look and listen question is worth 2 points, and just a reminder, once someone rings in, we have to stop the video at that time, and we cannot re-cue it and start it over. So here we go. Both teams, our look and listen question for the day. Similar architectural elements of this landmark seen here resurface on the set of this nearby TV comedy show. Name the program. Okay, well, time on that one. That's the clock from the Grand Central Terminal at New York, and that clock is replicated on the set of Saturday Night Live. All right, as we head into the remainder of the second round, questions are placed on the floor for either team to answer. The team responds correctly, they earn a point for their team. If they respond incorrectly, the other team will still get a chance to steal. So here we go, both teams, hands on the buzzers. Shakespeare is the next category. Complete this quotation from Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Here it is. If music be the food of love, and play on, play on. Both teams, children's literature. What two names given by Lewis Carroll to two fat little men in Through the Looking Glass today have been popularized to refer to two people or things so alike as to be indistinguishable? Tyler.
Twiddledee and Twiddledum.
Those are the two we're looking for. U.S. government for both teams. What state sends the greatest number of delegates to the U.S. Senate? Chandler?
There is no state that sends more delegates to the Senate.
Very good. They're all the same. It's a trick question. Sometimes we throw those in. All right, general knowledge for both teams. Cars have entered our lexicon in many ways. An automobile gave us the word for something exceptional, a real doozy. From what make of car does that old expression come from? Austin.
Ford.
It is not Ford. Jaguars, chance to steal this general knowledge category. Cars have entered our lexicon in many ways. An automobile gave us the word for something exceptional, a real doozy. From what make of car does that old expression come? Abby?
Chrysler.
It is not Chrysler. It's Duesenberg. Duesenberg. Anatomy for both teams. The partition separating the two nasal cavities is called what? Emre.
The septum.
Septum. Another science question, this time biology. Long question, so please pay attention. In the liver, amino acids are converted to ammonia, which is then converted to urea. The purpose of this process is to make less toxic a particular element by converting it into less harmful compounds. Name the toxic element which is involved. Austin.
Hydrogen.
It is not hydrogen. Jaguars, chance to steal this biology question. In the liver, amino acids are converted to ammonia, which is then converted to urea. The purpose of this process is to make less toxic a particular element by converting it to less harmful compounds. Name the toxic element which is involved in this process. Emre.
Arsenic.
It is not arsenic, it's nitrogen. Nitrogen. Both teams, music is the category. In many versions, the second verse of this protest song starts, "We'll walk hand in hand." "We shall overcome" is the protest song. World history for both teams. The African country of Liberia has a very interesting history. The nation was founded in 1847 by a rather unusual group of people. What was distinctive about the people who... Curtis.
They were all former slaves.
All former slaves. Science, this time about space. Identify this manned U.S. space flight project from the following description. The two-man spacecraft built for orbital rendezvous and named after the constellation containing the stars Castor and Pollux. Emre.
Gemini.
Gemini. General knowledge. Keynesian school deals with the language, I'm going to give you a multiple choice here. Keynesian school deals with language arts, philosophy, psychology, or economics. Avi?
Economics.
It is economics. World history for both teams. Starts off with a quote. "Let her sleep, for when she wakes, she will rock the world." Name the current power, Emre.
China.
It is China. That was Napoleon's quote. Jaguars, you've opened up a bit of a lead here. The score currently is Blue Valley West 17, Shawnee Mission West 10. U.S. history for both teams. In which state capital was the first telephone message, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want you," sent by Alexander Graham Bell? Blake.
Albany.
It is not Albany. Jaguars, chance to steal this U.S. history question. In which state capital was the first telephone message, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want you," sent by Alexander Graham Bell? It was Boston. Boston. U.S. geography for both teams. What major national park is the only one that is named after the river which flows through it? Emre.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, very good. Fine arts, dance. What do we call a lively Spanish dance in triple time performed by a man and a woman playing? Austin.
Salsa.
It is not the salsa. Jaguars, you have a chance to steal this fine arts dance question. What do we call a lively Spanish dance in triple time performed by a man and a woman playing castanets? Abby?
Flamingo.
It's not the flamingo dance, it's the fandango. It's the fandango. Good guesses, though. Next category for both teams is artists. Which two artists were appointed to decorate the Grand Council chambers of Florence with a fresco of foot soldiers suddenly called to battle? Emre?
Brunelleschi and Ghiberti.
Sorry, that is incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this artist category. Which two artists were appointed to decorate the Grand Council chambers of Florence with a fresco of foot soldiers suddenly called to battle? Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci were the two. Literature for both teams. A novel of manners, a novel of incidents, a novel of sensibility, or a novelette. Which one of those is Melville's Billy Budd? Austin.
A novel of incidences.
It is not a novel of incidences. Jaguars, chance to steal this literature question. A novel of manners, a novel of incidents, a novel of sensibility, or a novelette? Chandler.
Novel of sensibility.
It's a novelette. Math, next category. What is the square of 55? It's 3,025. Music, composers. Italian composer and violinist Antonio Vivaldi wrote more than 400 concertos before his death in 1741. Give me the title of his most popular piece. Emre.
The Four Seasons.
It is the Four Seasons. World geography for both teams. New Amsterdam later became New York. New Scotland was Nova Scotia. What area was New Spain? Chandler.
Florida.
It is not Florida. Vikings, chance to steal this world geography question. New Amsterdam later became New York. New Scotland was Nova Scotia. What area was New Spain? Nick.
Mexico.
It is Mexico. This time, U.S. geography for both teams. This U.S. city proclaims itself thoroughbred capital of the world. Name this city in Kentucky. Bobby?
Louisville.
It is not Louisville. Vikings, chance to steal this U.S. geography question. This U.S. city proclaims itself the thoroughbred capital of the world. Name this city in Kentucky. Blake.
Belmont.
It's not Belmont, it's Lexington. Lexington. Vocabulary for both teams. Mental derangement associated with certain phases of the moon is Nick.
Lunacy.
Lunacy. U.S. history specific events is the category. What is the exact date that Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon's surface? Austin.
July 19th, 1969.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Jaguars, chance to steal this U.S. history events question. What is the exact date that Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on the moon's surface? Kyler.
July 10th, 1969.
July 20th. July 20th, 1969. World history for both teams. Simon Bolivar cut a swath across much of South America in opposition to what nation's rule? Emery.
Spain.
It is Spain. Language word origin is the category. From what language do we acquire the words alcohol, alchemy? Emery.
Arabic.
Arabic. Science for both teams. The Fahrenheit scale was invented by Gabriel Fahrenheit in 1714. Who invented the first centigrade thermometer? Emery?
Celsius.
It is Celsius. General knowledge for both teams. A numismatist collects coins. What does a philatelist do? Emery?
They collect stamps.
They collect stamps. Journalism, famous quotes is the next category. What was the text of the cable sent by Mark Twain from London to the press in the United States after his obituary had been mistakenly published? Nick.
Reports of my death were greatly exaggerated.
That's exactly right. Very good. Business for both teams. What is the term given to a roster of names or firms with which one refuses to do business with due to their political? Hobby?
Blacklist.
It is a blacklist. Music history, composers. Another composer's question. What composers, let's finish this one off. What composers' lost piano waltzes were discovered in the attic of a family chateau near Paris? Chandler.
Schoenberg.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Vikings, chance to steal this composer's question. What composer's lost piano waltzes were discovered in the attic of a family chateau near Paris in 1978? Austin.
Tchaikovsky.
It is not Tchaikovsky, it's Frederick Chopin. All right, that siren does denote the end of our consolation matchup, with Blue Valley West coming out victorious with a score of 24 to Shawnee Mission West 13. Congratulations to the Jaguars for a third place finish. So please stay tuned, because soon we're going to do our awards ceremony for our third and fourth place finishers. Congratulations to both teams and an excellent performance in our consolation game of our 14-15 playoffs. And let me take time now to award our fourth place trophy to Shawnee Mission West and their coach, Pam Creed. Congratulations, Coach, on a great regular season performance of 3-1 and a great tournament performance.
Thank you very much.
So if you'd like to step around and say a few words about your team, that'd be awesome.
I just want to congratulate my team for a lot of hard work and a lot of fun this season, and just hanging in there and doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And congratulations to our third place tournament finish, that'd be Blue Valley West Jaguars and their coach, Pam Fellingham. Congratulations, Coach. And a great regular season with finishing 4-0 in the top of our regular season.
Thank you.
I would also like to congratulate my team. You did a great job, not only today, but you've done a good job all season, and I'm really proud of the work you have done. And also for coming to all the practices and doing a great job then. Thank you very much.
Please join us next week as we are going to continue with our final game of our tournament, and as Blue Valley High School will take on Blue Valley Northwest High School. Once again, congratulations to both our teams, as we will continue to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.